Cooney loser bald guy. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, 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 Cooney. Cooney, Cooney, upstays alive.
All right, welcome back to Raccoon Tweeties. Thanks for tuning in. As always, join the Patreon. We have a lot of stuff up there. We just reviewed Shane Gillis's stand-up special.
Andrew Scholl's.
Netflix. And then we reviewed Andrew Schultz as well, Blog Bussa. And we haven't reviewed anything else, but we're going to do Man Tears, right?
Yeah, we had them vote on the Patreon. They voted for Man Tears.
Which is Brian Callen. Did you know that Brian had a special called Man
I
Tears?
did not know he had a special called Man Tears.
Who's that
Remember
voice?
He had an ape.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, what's that? Which one?
Something about an ape.
Sounds like Brian. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we should introduce who I'm talking to. A man that does need an introduction.
Yes.
Jay Light. Jay Light, one of our friends, one of our guys, former door guy at the store, roast battle writer, written on BattleBots
Yep.
and lots of things. Also, just a really stand-up dude. Jay Light, everybody.
Netflix, B.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he
Great
listens.
Guy, finally met him.
Yeah, this is my first time meeting him in person. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have you on. You're our first guest in the hostage room.
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel very threatened right now. This is great.
And let us know. I mean, does this setup work? We have a little bit of space to work with in the hostage room, not too much, but let us know what you think for the third guy in here, audience. And then I have a show, which will be the Wednesday after this show, or the Wednesday of the week.
Save
show
the
comes
date.
Out. The 26th. I was trying to think in my head. You just want me to say 6th because I can't do it.
I didn't even think of that.
Whatever, dude.
I have a show August 3rd at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, anyways, let's get
Wait,
right
I want
into
to
it.
plug a show.
Yeah, plug your show.
I got a
Jay.
show the 29th, July 29th at the Alamo Draft House. It's my game show. It's a fucked up game show.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta come check that out.
Tell them a
Yeah.
little, what's the game show part of it? Tell 'em your
So I got 3 comics on. It's called Wrong and Fucked Up Game Show. I get everybody does a little bit of whatever they think is their most fucked up material. We pull up old tweets from people. We blank out stuff that they said, try and make them guess what they said from like 10 years ago. We ask them uncomfortable questions about their lives and their past based on what we find on the internet. It's a fun time. We fuck around.
That's a great idea. Never seen it. So do you do it in the bar of the Alamo?
Yeah, we do it in the bar of the Alamo Draft House. And
Isn't that a movie theater?
yeah,
It is.
Oh, okay.
But when you go to downtown, it's in the block. And then there's a bar area. And then if you go up, that's where all the theaters are,
Yeah.
right? I love that place.
It's a
great food.
very good food, very cool setup, great staff, great bar. They got some arcade games in there. We get a lot of, because the Alamo Draft House, the bar is just right next to the theater. You get a lot of walk-ins, and there are a lot of people who just come check out the show while they're like on their way to a movie or coming back from a movie. And we did a show, I think our second show there was the same weekend as the Super Mario Brothers movie was out in theaters.
Yes.
And that was a disaster because all the kids came out of the movie as we're talking about like, we did in a segment that game about people dressed as Mario committing crimes.
Yeah.
And we were talking about 2 guys dressed as Mario and Luigi who like beat the shit out of a cab driver while there were a bunch of kids like screaming and running around playing like licorice pizza pinball.
Yeah. That's a real Bowser of you to do.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
hey, even Gerardo didn't have faith in that joke. He looked down. He's like, I shouldn't have even
This
tried
is not
it.
an advertisement for the Alamo, but it is a great spot. I mean, Alamo's got merch.
Yeah.
They pull out a Schultz thing. They give out a lot of free posters and swag.
If you come to the show, you can win some prizes. We give out a lot of free posters and Alamo merch. So come July 29th at 8 p.m.
Jay will talk about ethnic violence in front of your children.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Alamo Draft House staff would light you up, B. But anyways, we're sleeping on the lead here. And I'm sure when you go on podcasts, people ask you about the roast battle, the comedy store, writing and being a comedian in Los Angeles. We're not going to do that.
No.
We're not going to do that right now. I mean, that's all interesting stuff. It may come up, but you know what we want to talk about with you. I'm sure.
I have a feeling.
Do you have a guess?
You know.
Do you have a guess?
I have a feeling you know about this. About our old boy Brendan Schaub.
No, actually, no. I mean, that's another great topic. But no,
I've seen him.
Flappers. Ever heard of it?
Of course.
I want to ask you about Flappers.
We've got some Flappers stories to tell.
So Jay worked at Flappers when I moved here. I moved here like late 2012. When did you move here?
I moved here at right around the same time, August 2012.
Oh, wow. So I got here right after you.
Yeah.
I thought when I saw you at Flappers, I was like, this guy's been working here for a while. He's a veteran.
I had that vibe.
You're
think
very
it's just
young.
because working at Flappers beats you down to where you feel and look like a veteran of Flappers.
Yeah.
I saw Jay. He's like, and I worked there too, but like not in the same. Jay worked much more than I did. But you were like selling tickets and you had on the thing.
Yeah.
Like
you had to wear as your dress code. You had to wear either suspenders or a fedora.
Dude, yeah, I
And
think I
did
did
the
both.
Suspenders. Yeah.
You just did
I
suspenders?
just did suspenders. I'm not a hat guy.
I'm a hat guy.
The only people that can pull off fedoras are cholos.
Oh, I didn't pull it off. But cholos pull off fedoras?
Yeah. I was actually writing about that earlier.
Like Kangol's?
Yeah.
The Kangol hats?
I guess, are Kangol's fedoras? Kangol's are
Yeah.
fucking newspaper hats, right?
Yeah, those are newsboy hats.
What's the
A
difference?
fedora's got a feather on the side. It's
Oh.
A fedora's like a reporter hat
Yeah.
Yeah,
from
no,
the
I didn't-
1940s.
you're right. Yeah.
got like an articulate brim. You know?
Yeah.
The fedora has the thing on the side. The Kangol doesn't. It's not a brim, right?
No.
Yeah. Kangol is like the news
Kangol's
book,
a
right?
lazy
Exactly.
man's hat, you know? Fedora, you got to really put the outfit together.
Oh, I didn't wear
Yeah.
a fedora. I wore a newsboy cap at Flappers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, my like what little I had left of hair was always messed up, and I was
So
like,
you
"This is
had to
perfect,
wear-
dude. This is the only time I'll be allowed to wear a newsboy
Yeah.
cap and not be made fun of."
I will say the manager at Flappers who wore a fedora all the time, he pulled it off.
Oh, Nick,
Will.
Will. That's what I meant. Will.
Will pulled off the fedora.
Will's a great guy, very nice guy. I
Yeah.
got nothing bad to say about Will, right?
Nothing
Do we
bad.
agree?
Will, fantastic.
And you're not just saying that.
No,
to-
I'm not just saying that. The only normal person who worked at Flappers.
Normal is a stretch for Will, I would say, but very nice though. Good guy.
Good guy.
I feel bad. So when I make fun of Flappers, there are people I feel bad towards.
Yeah.
Like Will. And I didn't have a lot of interactions with Bobby, but I always had good ones with him.
Oh yeah,
He seemed
Bobby was
like
a good guy.
He didn't care whether I lived or died, but was nice anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But with Flappers, so when you moved here, how did you get that job?
I was going to, so they have this audition open mic.
Yeah.
Which is not, as you know, it's not really an audition. It's just you show up and then if you don't, actually sometimes if you do totally suck, they will still be like, come by and bring 5 people and you can do a
Yes.
spot.
Yeah, I don't think the quality of your set is what they care about
No.
whatsoever at the audition process.
They care about the fact that you're like a warm body in the room and they're like,
Exactly.
how many more people?
If you're alive,
yeah.
Most of the time, but I think sometimes they have like bad days because like somebody wrote on my Twitter that they were like super mean to them. They're like, "You're not funny. You shouldn't be here." I could totally see Dave like Barb just yelled at him about something like not taking out the trash. He's in a bad mood and he's like, "You know what? I don't need these extra 3 tickets today. I don't like this person. They remind me of fucking Nicole Coco Briscoe or something like that." But anyways, yeah.
But I did the audition and then the guy, Dave, was giving out notes and he said he liked my set. And then at some point, I think it might have been that day, he was like, "Hey, if you want a job, we were like hiring," because Drew Lynch was working there.
Oh, I didn't even know he worked there.
He
So
worked
that's
there.
his connection.
Drew had just started to like do colleges.
yeah.
Because he'd started to get to a point where like he could talk even though the stutter was still like
Yeah.
a huge part. But he'd had enough speech therapy so he could do enough, he could do
Yeah.
a set about it. And so I basically replaced Drew.
Wow.
So they brought me in.
What's that guy's deal, right, guys?
Gerardo's off the show. Yeah. You know what I think is funny about that though is like
Gerardo's bringing real third chair producer energy today.
nah, it's good. I did think it was funny that Barb had the whole. Do you remember the name of the tour for Sam and
Oh, it's the Preferred Parking Comedy Tour.
Preferred Parking Comedy? Is that messed up?
Well, I think it's It's more messed up that she used just a handicap parking placard as the poster.
That too.
That's the most messed up part about it. But her bread and butter was differently abled comedians.
Differently able. That's
Right?
a good. I'm glad you're here because it was me and Gerardo. God knows what we come up with for that.
Wheelchairs.
So
that's
Sam,
what I say. I love wheelchairs.
Sam had, and what's his last name?
Sam Comroe.
Sam Comroe, funny guy, great guy. Never met him. Sam had
Tourette's.
And Drew has a thing where he got hit with a baseball
At a Flappers softball game.
Oh fuck! I was
You
gonna
didn't
make
know
a
about
joke, and
this?
I was gonna make it up and say it happened. It would literally Flappers has ruined people's lives.
Yeah. Well, Flappers is the part of the reason that he has a career, right? Like he couldn't get
Yeah,
workers'
Barb.
comp because it was an off experience.
Oh my
It
god.
was a company softball game. You're not on the clock for that.
No.
Yeah.
But he got a career. So
Yeah, he
there
did.
you
Yeah,
go.
it is a
Look at
great.
that.
He used it very well. He overcame tragedy very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she repped Josh Blue before that too.
And Josh Blue has I shouldn't make him like Trump. I'm like Trump
palsy.
making the Trump shit. I couldn't even. Why'd I do
He's
that?
got this one. He does the arm.
I started making fun of him like Trump. Yeah, he's got cerebral. You remember Josh Blue's on Last Comic Standing?
Yes.
I don't
yeah.
know that. So she repped him too. Was
She
he
repped him.
Was he part of that tour?
I think he was probably the genesis of the tour.
Because that was the thing about Flappers is they had offensive names for everything. I've gone over this before, but there was Confucius say funny or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was colorful comedy for people that are black.
Oh.
There was what else was there? There was an old one, like what is it, old fart funnies or something like that.
Old, yeah, I think it was Old Fart Funnies. Was
This
for
one
the
guy was
old
like, "What's
people.
next? The gabagools of comedy." Do you remember any of those names?
I mean, you covered the major ones.
I did.
There was, I remember Old Fart Funnies was definitely a show that I did not enjoy. I mean, there's not really a ton of shows at Flappers that I enjoyed working. Most of the time, the best I could do at Flappers was sort of just like a baseline, like, okay, this is fine. This isn't horrible.
Yeah.
I think you used to host the Claremont Flappers open mic.
Oh, you
right?
did?
I did.
Oh.
I got a story. I got so many stories about that.
Because I started comedy, I think, the week you quit
Yeah.
in 2014.
It wasn't, I didn't quit, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I was fired.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I heard that you were on to bigger and better things, getting a job at the Comedy Store.
I mean, technically I was.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. Okay. So I got a job. I worked at Flappers for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I worked there. I was doing, by the end of my time there, I was like the head ticket booth guy. They were going to train me to be a manager.
Whoa.
They were like, we're going to get you management training. And
Yeah.
I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And but I also hosted the open mic at Claremont. And their whole thing was like, we really want you to be, keeping an eye on the talent out there and like building people up and
Right.
taking notes. I was like taking notes, and I had a group of regulars who were coming by all the time. It was a fun time.
Yep.
But I was working at the store. I'd quit working as a door guy at Flappers. I was working exclusively at the store, and they still let me go on Sundays to go run the mic. And this was like 2 months later, maybe. All of a sudden, one day, I was working the back door on a Saturday night at the store. And Jason Cheney was one of my regulars
Yeah.
at the mic before he blew up. And he came up to me, he's like, hey, how come you're not hosting the mic tomorrow at Claremont? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, they got somebody else on the website. And I looked, and sure enough, they'd had somebody else on the website.
Who? Do you remember who?
Brian Blanco, I think was his name. Skinny
sounds
dude,
Sounds familiar.
bald, fun, nice.
I don't know.
Great guy, never met him, but
Slings dick, but
definitely a Guadalajara Mexican. this
Yeah,
guy,
he'll
for
keep you
sure.
busy.
Yeah, but I was like, this is crazy. So I called Richie, was the booker at the time,
Ugh.
and I texted him, and I was like, hey, how come I'm not hosting? Because I had taken the week off because I had another show somewhere, and I would always, if I had to take a week off, I rarely did, but I would take it off, and I would text Richie, and I would also tell the management at Claremont, like, hey, I'm going to be gone this week. If you need me to help find another host, let me know. But they always had somebody else who could back up for me. But I remember I was like, what's going on? Why am I not hosting this week? And he's like, we we're going in a different direction.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, why?
Damn.
I was like, why didn't you tell me this beforehand? And he was like, this is me telling you beforehand.
Oh, man. Richie sucks so much,
And
dude.
I was floored. And because they didn't tell me at all. Like, I would have gone to the mic the next day and they would have been like, oh, you're not hosting anymore. And honestly, you know what I think it was really is this was right around when Ken Pringle
Yes.
got hired.
Shout out Ken Pringle.
Kim Pringle, legendary.
I wouldn't be in the game if it wasn't for him. What were you saying?
And Ken came and
Dean of Flappers, former.
former
Assistant.
dean.
Yeah, assistant.
Ken came and saw me hosting the mic a couple times because he'd just gotten hired, so he was like trying to figure out what's going on. And I don't think he liked the way I hosted it because I was not playing favorites exactly, but I had this thing that I would do where people would like, if they had a joke that I really liked, I had this little bell that I would ring. And it was just like, it was like a thing. I was like, great, that's a good joke. And I would ring this bell. And I think Ken was like, it's not, this isn't right. It's not, you could be doing this. And I was just like, I've been hosting this for like 6 months. These people like the show. We got a bunch of regulars.
Well, when you have a hammer, everything's a nail, right?
Yeah. When you got a Ken Pringle.
Yeah. When you have a
Everything's-
Kevin Smith knockoff.
Yeah. When you got a Ken Pringle, everything's not laid back.
Everything's-
laid back. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, so Ken Pringle was in the back. Like, I got to get rid. The
gotta
first
get
thing
rid
he
of
did
this
was get
guy.
rid of Jay Light as soon as possible.
So they got rid of me, and I remember it took because I kept calling the club, and instead because you could leave your veils on Mondays, and I was like, I'm just trying to talk to Richie and just be like, what's the real story? Because this
Right,
feels
yeah.
like a really weird, unprofessional way to get rid of me.
Yeah.
And he talked to me a couple weeks later, and he was like, yeah, you left a couple, like you didn't tell people that you were going to be gone. And I was like, no, that's not true. I got the emails that I sent to you and to the management that I wasn't going to be there. And then he paused and he was like, we just wanted to go in a different direction. And I was like, okay, that's really all I needed. And then I saw Ken Pringle was hosting the open mic at Flappers
Wow.
Claremont from
He
there on
wanted
out.
to do it instead of you.
Yeah.
Sad.
So,
And let's be honest, that ended in a fiery disaster, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Ryan Friend,
I remember Ryan.
Yeah.
I was at Ryan and Bianca's wedding. What a nice, nice couple there.
Ryan Friend is an awesome guy. He
Yeah.
he hosted the mic for 2 weeks and then he was never seen again.
Really?
Yeah. After Ken left. And then after that it was Josh Michaels. And then Josh Michaels had Armando host for him without Flappers knowing.
Yeah.
Without letting the almighty Barb knowing.
Man.
And then a bunch of announcements about don't do cocaine in the restroom.
Yeah, I was about to say. I thought that hosting the Flappers Claremont mic was just a what's the word where you're saying a something for a something? Like
A
I thought it was meant for
euphemism?
cocaine.
It's a euphemism for doing cocaine.
And then shortly after the announcements about cocaine, they shut down Clappers. Claremont Flappers.
Claremont?
Yeah.
Clappers would have been a
Clappers
better
Friend.
name for the club. Than Flappers.
Give it up for Clappers.
There's still time, Flappers. You can do that. You can just change it.
I never did. I mean, I bought drugs at the parking lot of the Claremont Flappers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
I didn't do any drugs. I drank a lot at Flappers Claremont, but I didn't do any drugs there.
I bought drugs. So you sold them?
And I bought drugs and then I went
just kidding.
home and did the drugs.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna do drugs and I'm not gonna drop acid at the Claremont packing house and just be stuck there for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I never even went to Claremont, so I don't even know that world. You guys are balls deep in
dude.
drugs and craziness.
Great
It was
sandwiches.
awesome. We did illegal fireworks in that parking lot next door.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Great parking lot.
Shout out Johnny Stewart.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, jeez.
My hero, Johnny Stewart.
He was around then too.
But he was just starting when I was hosting that mic.
Yeah.
I was the genesis of
You
Johnny
could have
Stewart.
ended it. You could have ended
You
it.
had to be meaner. You're too nice.
I helped encourage Johnny Stewart.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was the only comic when he got on stage. Jay Light went ding.
Yep.
Without even
as
saying
soon
a
as
word.
he got on, I was like, I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Did you, when you were there, did you ever meet Nicole? Coco Briscoe?
I honestly, I was thinking back on it and I was trying really hard and especially like watching her TikToks.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever working with Coco Briscoe.
Damn, that's crazy.
I believe Jay, not Cooney.
I mean, I don't know if they were there at the same time because you weren't there when I was. I think
We were not there working at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember being surprised when you
Guess
talked about
what?
working at Flappers. I didn't know you worked at Flappers.
Yeah, we kind of. Yeah, I think we didn't cross paths there other than me seeing you.
The only person who I remember working at Flappers at the same time as me, comic-wise, was Kelly McInerney.
Kelly worked at Flappers?
She was a Gatsby.
Oh, the phone call.
Choose the phone call
Do you know
people.
what that is?
I don't want to know. It's like, you know what I mean? Flappers is a good name. You don't have to make everything 20s related. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You do.
The Gatsby Force, that's just a scam. To get,
Yeah.
like comedians to call to get people to do tickets. So somebody, if they get your phone number and email when you go to the mic, somebody's gonna call you up. Hey, oh, well, guess what? We have Hal Sparks coming on Friday. You want to see Hal Sparks? No.
You want to check out Tanya Lee Davis? We can get you tickets. Would you like to see? Would you like to see Pauly Shore the same weekend that our air conditioning breaks in July?
When you were there, was the bathroom broken?
Yeah, bathroom was always broken.
Isn't it wild that one urinal was always broken?
Yeah.
It was just it constantly ran. It was just like a fountain.
I heard it was Jeff Garland took a shit in the urinal.
I've heard that story too.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it got clogged.
He's like, why doesn't this thing flush?
Jeff Garland, ridiculous. I'd see him go up and he'd be like, I can't believe I'm here. I mean, it's embarrassing. I don't even like telling people that I'm here. It's like you come here every day, dog.
Yeah.
Like you literally have a house here.
You've practically got a residency at
Live in
Flappers.
the green room.
You moonlight as Ken Pringle. They're the
You
same
love the
person.
salads.
Yeah.
It's impossible to tell the difference between the two of you. You hear so much. Is your name up anywhere? Because you can sign the green room. Do you think there's any evidence of Jay Light?
My name is definitely up in the green room. And I found it the last time I did a show at Flappers. I saw it in the green room.
Oh yeah,
I remember looking
You didn't
for
try
it.
and like etch it out. When's the last time you did a show there?
It's been a while because I was talking to Ken Garr about this actually.
Ken's another Flappers alum. I don't know if he worked there, but he was there all the time.
He was there all the time. He
Hosted.
moved. He and I were there a lot at the same time. We both were going through like a breakup at the same time too, and Flappers was like our common ground.
yeah.
But he and I were both like, yeah. After doing the Flappers pilot, we both sort of avoided it because we're like, I don't know how banned I actually am from Flappers, and I kind of don't want to find out.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, because you did the pilot. I would say Ken Garr, if I were to describe him like throughout my meetings with him, would be constantly divorced. Like he was always being broken up with or divorced, and he'd have a bit about like being divorced and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you did a great job on the pilot. I don't know if people have. I mean, I don't know how many people have seen it, but they know about the Flappers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jay blew the roofs off the door. He memorized the entire thing. He was professional. You were one of the few people that were
dressed
professional.
up.
Yeah,
I
you had
had
a costume.
I had a Zoom background
You had a
of
Zoom
the
background?
Yoo-Hoo Room stage.
You made me look like a fool.
I mean,
But I was happy about it.
and keeping in line with Flappers policies, you only gave a Latino 2 lines. So
You did a great job too.
I had
You
a
did great
kitchen
job,
background, you know what I mean?
That
was pretty good.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
did good.
Thank
You
you.
stood out.
Yeah.
too. Everybody put their heart and soul. Check out the Flappers pilot that's still on YouTube. It's one of the greatest things I've ever done. Being here, and thank you again for doing it.
Of course.
You had to relive some trauma, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, it was really, you know what? It was fun to play Dave.
Yeah, I
Because
bet.
I got to channel my feelings about like because I liked Dave. Dave is not.
Dave's fine.
Dave's a good dude at heart. You can tell that he's just like
Broken.
that's the way I played him as
Right.
like a man
Yeah.
who was broken by
The system.
the system of Flappers.
Is the system Barb, or you mean literally the system of Flappers?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
She's kind of like, I mean, what would marrying Barb is like what? Being married to Barb, what do you think that's like?
Being married to Barb is like you've got your foot stuck in one of those bear traps
Right.
constantly, and you're just like, I can't do anything to get out of this. You try and pry it off, and it's just like clamped onto your leg.
You're right. The sex is great, but you feel like you're in a bear trap.
I feel like the
Constant pain.
sex with Barb has to be great.
Yeah.
It's fiery, it's passionate.
Those two are definitely fucking in the hot tub. They've bragged about having
have
a hot tub before. They've talked about the hot tub,
Oh.
and I'm guaranteed that there's a
Dang,
lot
they
of.
put that up for a mortgage to get the Flappers thing. They could
They
lose that hot
did,
tub.
yeah.
They can't afford to refill the water, so that thing's filled with jizz. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's practically a jizz tub at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
It's like a fondue pot.
Talk
Just-
about betting on yourself. Putting your house up for a comedy club called Flappers.
Yeah.
And with a 1920s vibe.
If I'm not mistaken, Dave's out the picture now, right?
What do you mean?
Oh, is he?
Isn't Barb the only owner of Flappers now?
Where's Dave? Is this like
He's
a Shelly
getting ready
Miscavige?
to open up Clappers.
He's just
Shelly Miscavige, like where's Dave? We should start that.
Where's Dave?
Where's
Barb?
Dave, dude? Yeah, right on the Flappers YouTube or any of my
Where's
stuff.
Dave?
Where's Dave?
No, I
find
heard
out.
ever since Sound of Freedom came out, he just disappeared.
Barb would be connected to that.
Yeah.
She like on the side, for all of the criticism of Barb, on the side, she was kind of successful, right, with the managing of those guys.
Oh yeah, because this
NACA
is
and all that.
this is the thing about Barb. In my experience with her, she is very good at logistical stuff and like software things. Like she had a software background. She's the one who built their whole ticketing system from scratch, like coded the whole thing, and it worked. It worked great, but she just was not somebody who, like, I think, and the Yelp reviews, I think, speak to this too.
The secret charges?
Just
or you mean like when she yells at people?
oh, and she yells. I mean, the secret charges. That's its own fucking issue. They got to deal with that. I'm surprised there's no class action lawsuit.
I know,
against
dude.
flappers
That's
for
actually
that is illegal.
That sounds like a consumer case.
Yeah.
If you have a secret charge like that, that's definitely a consumer fraud case.
Yeah.
Get the Better Business Bureau involved.
How much money do they have though? They don't have enough money to sue, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could get. I mean, you could at least take that hot tub.
You could definitely make them settle. It would be an easy buck. I mean, they have a secret charge.
I think at the very
There's
least,
a flappers tax. I don't think that's illegal.
the comics need to get together and get their own. You know, you can get a residency, just like Cedric the Entertainer. That's your settlement. That's your payout.
I'll sue and I'd be like, listen, the case goes away, but I gotta have a main room show once a month and a Yoo-Hoo room show where I just rip on you guys.
Yeah.
I think that'd be funny to have a show that rips on flappers.
Yeah.
If we ever get big enough, they don't have any pride. They'll do it.
Yeah.
They will do it.
At least I assume. One day,
Especially
we'll
if it
work out.
sells out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would sell out.
You can't argue with those numbers. I'm a numbers guy, B.
Yeah.
There you go.
I heard that was the only part of her ticketing system that didn't work is that people didn't buy the tickets.
You got a lot of people giving them away for free. Yeah. All those Gatsby calls.
There's so many characters to think like who do we talk about first? Do I ask you about Barb first or Richie first?
Oh man.
Do you have any Richie stories besides that you getting fired?
I remember Richie getting hired. I remember because I saw him at Uncle Clyde's comedy contest.
Oh wow.
And he was performing under a different name. He was performing under the name Richie Lala.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, Richie Lala. Yeah, that was a name.
And he's a specific kind of comic. Like, there's the subset of musical comedian.
Oh right. Yeah.
He was a beatboxer comedian.
Yeah, that's hilarious because calling him a beatboxer comedian is very kind. Because literally what he would do is just someone else. He did an impersonation of Rozelle.
Yeah.
Remember?
I remember.
Which anyone can do.
Anyone can
But
do
not,
that.
I mean, Rozelle is amazingly talented. It was not like he does it, but anybody can do an impersonation of Rozelle.
Yeah.
And that was almost his entire act.
Yeah.
Right?
If he's doing 5 minutes, 3 of it is the Rozelle impersonation. Mm-hmm. But
Yep.
yeah. And I think that he got hired like right after I started working there. But besides him like ducking me about firing me, that was really the only negative interaction I ever had with Richie in terms of something that personally affected me.
Yeah. Richie is fine. But the only thing, and I've probably talked about this before, but the one where he like messaged me and he was like, "Hey man, you got to get you on this festival. Why don't you submit?" And it was a Jewish festival.
Oh,
And I was like, I just wrote back L'chaim because I don't like Richie would find him annoying, I'm not. And he was like, "You don't have to be Jewish." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. I'm good." And then he was like, "All right." Like a month passed. He's like, "Here, submit to this one." And it was a gay LGBTQ festival.
yeah.
And I was like, "Dog, what is going on here? Like, what's next? Are you gonna do an African American festival?" I'm like,
Yeah.
And also he would have these like scam festivals, like there'd be a Glendale Laughs.
I got invited to the Glendale Laughs Festival
you do
a
it?
couple times. No, I did. He had a room. I think it was in Glendale or maybe in Eagle Rock for a little while that I did once.
Yeah,
But-
you're talking about Mama's Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the open mic, and he'd be like, "Oh man, we're gonna get you on our show," and it's like, "This is gonna be another thing where you're asking me to join the Rite Aid Comedy Festival."
The Rite Aid. That's right. Oh my God, the Rite Aid Comedy Festival.
Was that real?
That was real.
I just made that up.
That was real.
He's
You
out
pulled
of
that
control.
deep out of
The memory banks.
the annals of your memory. Yeah.
What a crazy person to do all that stuff.
I think it takes to be a comic who's also booking a comedy club,
Right, it's tough.
it's a recipe for disaster because you're also going to give yourself. It's like that Felix guy over at a Comedy Chateau, right?
Right, yeah,
We're
Felix.
like, I've truly never met him, but he's
Yeah.
like, you've got to have. If you're the kind of person who like is vindictively booking a club just so
Yeah.
you can also give yourself stage time,
Yeah.
it's not really. It's not a personality trait that I would want to see.
No.
You know?
No, it can be done well, but it's tough. Like Jamie's cool.
Yeah, but that's like Jamie doesn't really like he's doing more than just stand up.
Right.
Right.
He's doing like improv stuff. And all
Jamie
that.
who?
The
Masada?
guy. No. The
From
guy,
the improv.
Dynasty typewriter.
Yeah.
Improv.
Oh.
Jamie Flam.
Yeah.
But Richie, me and Richie were fine until the very end when he was like, I can't be honest with you about why you're fired.
Yeah, the idea of being like, this is me telling you is very funny to me.
Yeah,
it sounds like a Richie move.
It was real shady. It was real weird.
Yeah. I quit the Ontario Improv.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of shady what they did to me. I was a dishwasher. And I told the guy my intentions is like, I want to be a door guy. Or at least like, host, right? At a comedy club, it's called like a host or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, for sure, we'll wash dishes for like 3 months and then we'll make you a host, basically, or door guy.
Sure.
And so I did it for 3 months. And on the day of the 3 months, I told him, I was like, yo, so can I be a door guy? And then he made up all these reasons why I was the worst worker there.
Okay.
And then I went back to go wash dishes, and I was like, I'm quitting. And then I went back to his office. I was like, I'm quitting, bro, because he was like, let's do like 4 more weeks, and then we'll see what's up, you know.
The Flappers, they
Man,
called
fuck
us.
that guy.
They called us Capones when we were hosting. No, that's not true.
The golden age of hosting.
Oh man,
Did you get any communication after you did the pilot from any of those people?
no,
They didn't reach out.
no. I think I actually did do like maybe right before pandemic happened. I did. That was like the last time I ever did Flappers, but nobody reached out to me.
Did Barb ever yell at you while you worked there?
Constantly.
Right. Do you remember anything specific?
I remember the thing that I remember the reason that I quit
Oh, okay.
was something that Barb said, not to me directly, but she said, okay, so she would have all of these events at Flappers.
Yeah.
And part of her thing was
Too many, some say.
Yeah, too many. But she would bring people around and she was like, this is what the event space is like, blah, blah, blah. And I was the head ticket booth person at the time. And they had in the ticket booth, it was like this little sort of like alcove where you could be, like up doing stuff and nobody would see you.
Right.
Because you're just kind of hidden. So I was there like opening the club and Barb was showing somebody around to do an event. And she said, she's saying something about like, you can put a table here if you have like merch or anything to give away, or if you have to do like a sign up. Now you might want to get your own people to do this. We could have some of our own people, but some of these people, they're pretty incompetent. And she said that.
Man, that sounds like something
Oh my
she said
God.
for sure though.
And then I popped out and I was like, because I heard that and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I popped out and I was like, hi, Barb. Hi, person. And she was like, oh, this is Jay. He's our star ticket booth person. And I was like, you can't.
Yeah.
Right after saying how your staff is incompetent, you can't try and like pivot.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to say about your staff. That's like a Shab thing.
It was so fucking. It was very shop like.
She was a little bit Scoobish there. She was like, no, my staff, they make problems. They probably mess this up. Like when I'm trying to get them to sell our crap to people and force them to buy it, sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
They fuck up all the time.
It was just the way she always. I remember she would talk to people constantly like you were always beneath her,
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
and that was
Because
just
we are.
I mean, hey, she's
This is Barb's
tip-top
world.
lady.
We're lucky to breathe, dude.
I like that was the moment where I was like, I have to quit working here. And I remember there were some other times when I saw her. Like there were days when the club was having a total meltdown.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So okay.
That's surprising.
So I worked there on one year. There was Valentine's Day weekend, and it might have been in the middle of the week. But they had I remember it was a big deal. They had Craig Shoemaker, the Love Master, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longest name you had to put on the marquee.
Yep.
And you had to put it all on one line. And they were doing 2 shows for Valentine's Day, and they were really pushing the like dinner and a show package. You got your 3-course meal,
Burnt pizza.
Yep. You get your burnt pizza. You get your burnt salad.
Yeah. Flappy ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Flappy ice cream, is that real?
I don't know. I don't know.
They take the Flappy fries and they put them in an ice cream
ice cream,
machine.
yeah.
God.
And just served in a giant bowl. But so I was working that night. First show is happening. And people are starting to show up early for the second show. And we're like, all right, we're going to have these people eat their dinner before they go into the show. I leave to go on my break. And stuff is already starting to come apart. Like the kitchen the club was sold out that night, and the kitchen was slammed. Like they could not get the amount of people who had bought the full 3-course meal package. They just couldn't get the food out in time. So people are starting to lose it in the back. It's very like the bear back there.
Okay, yeah.
Like this, like the main cook, Alex, the head chef, he was like yelling at people. He's like, I need people to say yes, chef, no, chef. I need some answers. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go have Chipotle right now because I'm not gonna be able to eat anything here. And I remember like I went and I left and I was just kind of sitting there. It was like my 15-minute break. I was eating the Chipotle bowl, and then I came back and everything had gotten exponentially worse. Like it was a total disaster. And Barb and Will were both at the front of the club in the ticket booth trying to salvage stuff because what had happened was they got so backed up they couldn't finish serving everybody in time for the first show to end. The entryway and the bar and everything was full of people who couldn't show up and they were trying to start eating and feeding them too, which was another big mistake. So nobody got out of the first show in time because a lot of people hadn't even had dessert yet. So they were serving people dessert as the house lights were on and the show was done.
Damn.
They were running like maybe half an hour late, and people were coming up getting refunds left and right because they're like, this is bullshit.
Which Barb is probably like is killing her.
Yeah.
Oh, refund shit.
She was pissed, and she was really she was on one. I remember seeing her on one, and Will was up there trying to he was a cool customer. That's what I always loved about Will. Is that he was just like he was very agreeable with people. But it really was like you could see people talking to Will versus people talking to Barb. And Will was just like, yep, give you a refund, no problem. Here's the thing. And Barb was arguing with people about giving them refunds.
Listen, you don't need your dessert. Dessert is just an extra. Remember I was saying that she's a green goblin? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's probably what came out.
Back to formula. But she was very... seeing that night, and then I remember Will was like, there's nothing you can do here to help us out, so I'm just gonna send you home because this is like too big of a problem. I don't want you involved to get sucked into this. And I was like, cool, thank you.
The idea of like the flappers thing, like a guy pulling a ticket, like, where are those flappy fries? And then someone comes back like, they said they didn't order apple pie pizza. And like all this shit like going back and forth. Have you ever had apple pie pizza?
I have had the apple pie pizza.
Is it good?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good, right?
No.
Gerard, it doesn't sound good to you, right?
I mean,
does it?
I mean, pizza before apple pie sounds pretty bomb.
Yeah, they have decent pizza there, but apple pie makes it gross, I think.
It's the.
I'm more of a pepperoni myself.
I love a pepperoni.
Yeah.
But it's that apple pie. It's the apples. It's too thick. It's a pizza
gross.
that's going to be guaranteed. The worst part about eating a pizza is when the slice is too sloppy.
Yes.
And it folds over, and you can't. Apple pie pizza is always going to do that.
Yeah, it's a real fork and knife endeavor.
Do they have anything
Yeah.
else that's weird like that I don't know about? Because I didn't even know they had that.
I mean, I remember they had a lot of the burgers. They were very excited about their burgers, but they were also like they're not that great. They had a bunch of mac and cheeses that they were super excited about.
I remember the mac and cheeses.
They were really on about like, oh, we got this great mac and cheese. It's just like Velveeta shells and cheese.
Honestly, apple pie pizza sounds like apple pie with marinara on it. Which sounds
it sounds like a
disgusting.
Sham joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? Apple pie with salsa on it?
What's that? Was that an Italian pie? What's that?
Do you know, as a quiz, do you know how much it costs to get in the Burbank Comedy Festival right now?
Oh, no. How
I'm
much
not
does
going
it
to do
cost?
a bit. I'm not going to
How
do
much
a bit. I'm
does
going
it
to tell you
cost?
really what it costs.
What is it?
Do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess $50.
Double that. $100 now.
Really?
I swear to God. Or at least that's what I read online.
Does
Man.
anybody show up?
The one, like, and I've done it. I'll be honest with you.
Fools show up.
I've not paid $100 to do it. But Yeah.
How much did you pay to do it?
I think 50, which is crazy.
That's
too.
still too much.
Yeah, way too
Yeah.
much. But I was like green, you know. From when I got here till about 3 weeks ago, I was a new comedian. Yeah, no, I'm embarrassed that I did that, but I did do it. Did you ever do it?
No, I avoided it like the plague.
You were always so much smarter than me and like on track. I came here like I'll do whatever. What do you need me to do? Barb needs her. Oh, I'm not gonna say that.
I remember there were people because I used to have that open mic at the Hyperion Tavern right across from the Lyric Hyperion.
Yeah.
And there would be people who I knew from other cities who were like in town to do and they would hit me up. They're like, hey, because I had booked spots on the mic.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, hit me up. They're like, hey, I'm going to be in town for the Burbank Comedy Festival. Can I come do a book spot? And I'd be like, yeah, absolutely you can. Because I need you to stay as far away from the Burbank Comedy Festival as possible. I need to give you a break
Oh yeah.
from the Yoo-Hoo room.
Yeah. I mean, the shows are packed. They're good. Maybe I did 25. I want to go back on that. I don't know if I actually paid 50, but it's quite possible.
How much
that I
time did you do?
I think they give you like 2 or 3 shows, and I don't know. They're probably like 10 minutes.
Okay.
But it's crazy. I was like, oh, I got into the festival. I remember like when I did it, I got Best of Fest or something like that, and that's when I was talking to I was like, maybe I won't get Best of Fest, you know. And I was talking to Richard Bain, R.I.P., and he was like, dude, even if you didn't get it, dude, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is important. This is like 2013.
Listen, they got industry there, okay?
Sad.
That's
Yeah, then I was like, industry's here.
yeah.
Barb is going to get me, I'm going to be rich from NACA.
What is that?
NACA's like, well, you probably know. Have you done NACA?
I've done NACA.
Yeah.
Not through Barb, but I've done NACA.
Explain to young
I'm not
Gerardo
disabled
what
enough
NACA
to
is.
have Barb represent me.
National Association of Comedy Associations?
It's
Close.
National Association of Campus Activities. So it's colleges.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where like Drew and Sam were really that's where they really blew up. That's
Yeah.
where the Preferred Parking Comedy Tour really shined.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of money doing that, Gerardo, but you have to
Yeah.
be young and either disabled or good looking or something.
Yeah. You got to have a good work ethic.
You have to,
Yeah.
you have to be that white boy that works too much.
Yeah. But it's a lot of I've done NACA a little bit. Then NACA is hot and cold on me. Because I show up, I do the videos. I've always gotten the alternate spot for NACA. So I show up and I'm not allowed to showcase, but I still have to go hang out and be like, hey, try and book me for your.
I thought you said
Free
trans.
Are any of them
college.
fun?
I thought you said, hey, trans J-Light here.
I mean, it's a fun hang, but it's not. I mean, you're trying to get
Right.
18-year-olds to book you for their college.
Yeah.
Right. And you're the type of guy at shows, you see a bunch of 18-year-olds and 19, you're going to their house, you're partying with them, you're dating them.
That's me.
Yeah.
You're dating them and all that. No, I'm just kidding. I know, were any of them really good though? The shows or?
The I mean, I've done some fun college shows. I did a show one time. These people at Southern Missouri State University
Okay.
in Joplin, Missouri.
Whoa.
And they booked me to do a show. They'd seen roast battle clips of me. They didn't even see me at NACA, but my NACA rep has like stuff of me online. And so they reached out to him and they booked me. And it was a fun show. It was like this auditorium. And there was probably like, a couple hundred kids there. And it was a fun show. It was a good time. And then afterwards, I was talking to, it was like the student life rep and the kids. And I was like, they're like, we're going to take you out to dinner. I was like, oh, great. Is there like a good local spot around here? And they're like, we got Applebee's. And I was like, all right, I guess Applebee's is where we're going in Joplin.
Damn. That's the worst when you go to a city and they have nothing.
Yeah.
They're just, not that Applebee's is fine, but it's just like, hey, where should we go to eat? You think they have like some local spot?
It's a bummer when Applebee's is like the top of your culinary game.
What if somebody was in Burbank? You're like, hey, where should we go to eat? And they're like, oh, Flappers.
They got good pizzas
We
over
have
Flappers.
pizza and an apple pie pizza. Have you tried that? You're like, what? Damn, dude. I was in Cincinnati and I asked somebody where to go, and they were like, well, there's Subway.
Oh,
Subway
no.
is a big ass city. That's
Yeah.
all you have. There's no special.
I can't believe they didn't even recommend Skyline.
What's Skyline?
Skyline Chili, dude.
Oh, okay.
In Cincinnati.
Oh, that they have like, yeah, they should have Cincinnati chili, right?
Yeah. They should say, go to the place that you get the Cincinnati chili at.
Maybe I just asked somebody who's slow. They were in the part of the disabled parking.
Somebody
comedy tour.
showed up to the Preferred Parking Comedy Store.
This is shockingly our most offensive episode, I think.
Yeah, I was in San Jose this last week, and I went to go get pizza. and it was like a college town, right? I got pizza and a burrito because I don't drink.
Sure.
Yeah.
So overeating is the answer.
Hell yeah. There you go.
I recognize that.
yeah.
Yeah. I know
Okay,
that
calling
feeling.
me fat. Just
No,
kidding.
He's sober too.
I overeat too.
Yep.
I
So-
just exercise to offset it.
But leaving the pizza place, right? There was these college kids that were walking by, and they said something like, I got your pizza, whatever. So you look naturally, right?
Yeah.
You're like, what? What are these college students saying to me? And when we all looked, it was me, Jesus, and Daniel Cabral. When we all look, this dude is like balls deep in this girl's pants,
no.
over the pants,
Okay.
like this, with his left hand. I'm
Call her-
right-handed,
Call her
personally.
Richie Lease. But yeah,
What is that?
I'm just kidding. That's a booger.
He's like
Hit him
over
with the Richie Lala.
Yeah, he's doing the Richie Lala.
Oh,
to
you
this
want to know
girl.
what a Richie Lala is?
But he's over the pants. I
Right.
can't express this enough. Over the pants, but deep. Like he looks like he has no hand.
Whoa.
Like
He's puppeteering her
deep in
practically.
there, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
not really, contesting. She's just walking awkwardly with his hand up, and he's
Man,
over here like calling attention to himself, being like "Got pizza," right?
Right.
And then they walk further, and he's just in there.
That's crazy.
He's like even walking like kind of squatted like a Russian dance,
Yeah.
and in there and walking with her, and then Jesus is like, "Let me smell that finger."
He said that?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
they hear him?
Yeah, he turned around and then he was like, "What?" Okay. He didn't say what, but
Wild
turning around
card,
was kind of
dude.
saying what.
Wow.
Jesus
Get your ass
is like
kicked
that
by that.
finger. Let me smell it.
Holy shit.
I mean, because it was it's weird to fucking have.
No, it's
It
weird.
is
It's
so
weird, but
weird.
it's also like if you say that, you might have to fight the guy, right?
You know what? But that guy's not going to be fighting very well. He's got one hand that's
he's
not
horny as shit.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fight with a hand that touched his girlfriend. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's like, then he'll smell it, baby.
Exactly.
You know what is crazy? I saw that same exact thing happen.
Nah.
Yeah, no, well,
You're
no one
fucking
said
around.
no.
Okay.
I saw Jonah Hill and Sarah Brady, and he was doing that to her.
He's
Isn't that crazy that he was doing that? I wonder if he's ever been to Flappers.
Jonah Hill.
I don't know. Did you ever see any celebrities go to Flappers when you were working there?
I mean, just comedians. Like Bill Burr, Kevin Hart.
Okay.
They were both doing their specials. You ever see anybody like run a special at Flappers? Which is crazy, but they do it.
I'm trying to think. I mean, a Dat fan.
You ever go to Dad Fans Comedy Boot Camp?
Oh, man, dude. You want to hang out with 7 elderly women and Dat fan? Go
Kind
to Dat
of.
Fan's
I mean,
Comedy Boot Camp.
7 MILFs and Dad Fan?
They're gilfs.
Minus, well, whatever. That's fine with me. Minus Dad Fan, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not now, obviously, but
Gilfs
before,
and
sure.
mail order brides. That's all that Dat fan can attract.
Mail order brides want to learn how to do comedy. Why?
Why not?
Well, yes, I guess so.
Get a different visa instead of having a green card.
Oh my God. But no, I mean, did you see celebrities?
I remember, I don't think I saw any like celebrities. I remember seeing big comics. Like I remember like, it was a big deal for me the first time that like Bert Kreischer walked in when I had first moved to LA because I had like
that's cool.
just seen the Machine story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's the Machine. And he was like, the Machine's having the Machine needs some lubrication today. He was having a tough day. I remember there was one time, okay, this is not my story, but I was working this day. You remember my buddy Parker Searfoss? You remember him?
Yes.
So Parker is a friend of mine. He worked at Flappers at the same time as me. And he was working the Yoo-Hoo room one day. And Natasha Leggero comes in.
Hottie.
And I don't remember if she was running to run like roast jokes or she just was like trying to get like reps in for a set she was taping or something. But she came in, she's like, hey, can I drop in? And Parker's like, yeah, I don't see why not. Let me just go check with the manager. And it was Dave at the time. And Dave did not know who she was.
Wow.
And he was like, yeah, I don't know who she is. I'm not going to let her on
Oh,
stage.
my
Jeez,
God.
not the best brains for the R's, Dave.
And so he had to go back to Natasha and be like, I'm so sorry, Dave. They said no. The management said no.
Holy shit.
And she was like, a little taken aback, and then
Yeah.
she left.
Damn, so they put Josh Schneider above Natasha Leggero.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
Wow,
think so.
That is crazy.
It was really weird. They had such a weird way of treating comics there. Like sometimes it was really nice. Sometimes people would get good treatment. But like I remember even when I was working there, they had the open mic, the bar open mic at midnight, or the No Blender bar show, and Josh was hosting it a lot, and like Jake Cannon hosted it, and I hosted it a little bit.
Yep.
And basically, if you were a comic working there, you would be there from like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock until 10:30 or 11. So you could not do any other open mics that day.
Yeah.
And that was the only mic you could do. And so they would put you up, they would work you in. You wouldn't have to put your name in the bucket. They would just be like, all right, we're going to put you up in like 2 comics.
Yeah.
And Barb found out about this and got furious and banned it from happening.
Damn.
And that policy lasted for, I think, maybe like a week tops, because all of the comics who worked there were like, if we can't even get on one spot, because they were already weird. Like the store, when I worked there, they were really, it's a club that's very comedian friendly. Like if you work the door there, you are getting developed into the system, right? Like that's the whole point of why you work the door there. So you can get stage time and you can get access to comedians who are going to help you out with your career.
Sure.
And Flappers was just not down with that. And so we were like, well, if we can't even get on stage, like you had to clock out if you had a spot. If somebody gave you a spot on a show, you had to clock out to do your spot for the 5 minutes that you were on stage.
God. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's definitely a violation.
It was bad. But
That's so weird.
so then when they were like, yeah, you can't even get up at the open mic. You can't get preferential treatment. And we were like, well, we're all going to quit then.
Yeah, I remember though when I worked there, it was like you get a ticket or whatever, right? Like you can like hop on. Or there's tickets or something.
They amended it to where it was like we can give out a handful of employee cut the line passes.
That's right.
But it was a real shady system. It was just like them trying to. It was a bad move. I don't get why they didn't. Like if you're gonna have a comedy club, you should expect that comedians are going to want to work there.
Yeah.
And that you should help those comedians out.
Yeah.
So that way they don't come on a podcast 10 years later and talk shit about your club.
Just shitting on Flappers. I'm trying to remember who I saw. A non-famous Theo there. I asked him to do a Vine. He said no. I respect him for that. Mm-hmm. Back when they made me do Vines.
Oh, they made you do Vines?
Yeah, they were like, go out and get celebrity Vines. I was like, there's no celebrities here, and I barely know what Vine is.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I was at Flappers. Do you guys remember the last time you were at Flappers?
That's a good question.
I think it was 2019. I think I had been booked to do. Because I call in my veils there every once in a while. I went through phases before I did the pilot of like, I'm going to try and perform at Flappers. I just need the stage time. And I would call in and they'd put me up. And then it was like 2019. I think I got a spot in the main room and it wasn't bad. Like they'd figured out enough of how to run the club by then that their shows weren't just hot garbage the whole time.
Yeah.
But it still was just like, I'm not gonna. It's kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a crapshoot to perform at Flappers if you're a working comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I remember the exact last time I was there. It's the story I've told before about hosting. I was very unprofessional.
Okay.
Shocker. But so they were too though. I got on a Flappers show and I'm thinking, okay, just another Flappers main room show. And I look at the poster before like the day of or before.
Yeah.
And it says host Brendan Cooney. And I was like, this must be a mistake because they would have told me, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I messaged Richie. I'm like, why does it say host? And he's like, oh, that's because you're the host. I was like, okay. So I go there, no instruction of any kind. And I'm thinking like, all right, hey guys, and I'm doing the introductions. I think I made one guy mad. I forget, it was Nick something. Nick Cobb.
Oh, Nick
Remember
Cobb.
him?
Yeah, I remember him.
He's okay.
Yeah.
But he was like, I go, do you want me to say anything? And he's like, nah. I'm like, all right, really funny guy, Nick Cobb. And then Nick Cobb goes up there and does like 5 minutes about how I didn't say any of his credits. I'm like, okay. So you're one of those guys. I'll remember that to the day I die. And then I'm just doing the show and they have something with a hat at the end where you're supposed to pick something out.
Oh yeah, so that way you get a bowl of Flappy Fries. That way you get a free entrant into Uncle Clyde's comedy contest.
I either didn't know about that or did it wrong, or I made Bobby come on stage and do it.
Okay.
And which was wrong, I guess. So Bobby's on stage like with the hat, like looking at me all angry, like, all right, we got this thing, so after that was my last time there. But.
I was definitely, and I will say this, as much as I'm shitting on Flappers, I also did some unprofessional things there as a comic. Like they had me at one point, they wanted to put me in charge of the Uncle Clyde's comedy contest as the host. They were like, we want you to be the regular host. And what that also means, like most comedy contests, it is a bringer show, right? You book people who are going to bring people.
Yeah.
And those people are always going to get the votes. And I was like, I don't want to. They told me this explicitly. They're like, you have to book people who are going to bring people.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. I would rather book good comedians.
Yeah.
Who are my friends.
Right.
And what I would do, I was like, you guys handle 5 people. I'll handle 5 people. And they always booked 5 bringers from the open mic. And then I booked 5 good comics. And my comics would always get second and third place because they were actually funny. They didn't bring anybody. But the first place person would always be one of their bringers. But it was like, I remember like Craig Conant was there. I remember like Rami Youssef and Danny Jollis were guys around that time. Yeah. And but I also, so I was like not doing what the club wanted. And then there was one time, this was like in the thick of my alcoholism before I sobered up. And I was going through a breakup and I was hosting and I was fucking wasted. And I was like lamenting about my breakup and like lying down on the couch on the main room stage while I was doing my set. And it just didn't work at all. And that was like right around the time, I think a combination of me being shit-faced hosting the mic or hosting the contest and me not booking people who were bringing people.
Right.
It was a combo of like, all right, we don't want to work with this.
Yeah.
You're not going to host it anymore.
Uncle Clyde's Comedy Fest, one of the most prestigious comedy festival or competitions in all of Los Angeles. Big deal.
Oh yeah.
Ever heard of it?
The club that Flappers is built on. The show, the cornerstone of the Flappers empire is the Uncle Clyde's Comedy Contest.
The competition that Flappers is built on. I mean, past winners, some of the big names you've heard: Brian Laundrie, the Ridgeway Killer.
Well, the last time I went to Flappers is when I got sober.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I remember I broke up with my girl at the time, and then I lived right next to Flappers. And part of the moving point of moving to like off San Fernando basically was that I was going to go to Flappers every night to do stand up.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
You had a plan.
And I went once to the 11:30 mic and I didn't go up, and I was like, fuck this whole plan. Fourth wall's in fucking North Hollywood. I'll just drive there.
Just drive there.
Yeah.
And then the last time I went to Flappers, I saw GT for the last time.
Oh, R.I.P. Yeah,
Yes.
GT's
Rest
gone.
in peace.
He was there a lot.
He was there a lot. He had a regular show. He got a show in the Yoo-Hoo room. And I remember for a while before I understood GT's whole thing, I hated GT. And then I felt threatened by GT.
Yeah.
Like comedically and physically.
Yes.
And I remember he would do the show and people who had the Yoo-Hoo room, they would put posters up of their show all the time. And one of the things that was part of our job in the ticket booth was like, if there's a poster up for a show that's not happening, take the poster down. And I remember there was one time GT had his show going on. Literally while it was happening, I hated this guy so much that I was pulling his posters down during his show. And then he came out and he's like, what are you doing? What's going on? And I was like, this is club policy. We have to take posters down. And I said this as I was like crumpling up his posters and throwing them in the garbage can, which, a little bit much. I probably should have made an amends to that
you
guy.
did the right thing. GT is a crazy open micer at Flappers. He would like go
Armenian,
on there.
right?
He's Armenian. And I remember people be like, he's actually normal off stage. And he had a normal job.
He had a normal job. He had a wife. He had kids.
They look normal too.
Yeah.
And then he would go on stage. He'd be like, eek. Like, I remember he was something about a bird.
He did a lot of bird impressions.
Yeah, he did. It's a bird. It's a bird. And then he would just like talk about how angry he gets about different things.
I had a GT inspired joke.
Oh, you did?
About how Glendale has the civilians that live in Glendale, their worst enemy is pigeons.
Okay.
Because
remember
it's the
this,
only city that has signs that said "Don't feed the pigeons" in the Southern California area.
They got too many cars there.
Well, so they don't want
people shitting on the cars.
Oh,
They got
pigeons are
Brand
people,
Boulevard of cars.
Yeah, but the only joke I remember of GT's is "Pussy on the Pier."
Yeah, do that one.
Yeah,
Do that one.
he's
I
like-
can't remember.
I
but
won't
it sounds
remember that.
familiar.
I was walking on the pier and I saw some hot girls. I thought, wow, this guy's a nice pussy, huh? Imagine if I started eating her out right here, the pussy on the pier.
Yes,
The
okay.
next thing you know, I'm just eating pussy on the pier. It's just like, you ever got some pussy on the pier? He just kept saying pussy on the pier
Yes.
over and over. Nobody laughed. But
Too bad Willie Dynamite wasn't there. He was dying.
I would have
He
been dying
loved GT.
laughing.
Me too. Eventually, it became like a thing where it's like GT comes at the improv. You're like,
Yeah.
let's see this. You pussy on the pier, baby.
There's a lot of. I remember. I loved when GT would go on. It was like Bruce Boyman. I remember I loved when he would go on.
Which one is that?
He was the.
I missed that one.
He was an old man who kind of looked like a Rodney Dangerfield, like a bad clone of Rodney Dangerfield, and he did just horrible one-liners.
Nice.
Not. They were the like the lowest hanging, like you could find these in a joke book kind of a jokes.
Right.
And he would sort of look around after he did a joke and he'd be like, huh? And that was like, I remember he was one of those other guys who I was like, I don't get this guy. And then I started watching him. I was like, I see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. This is not good, but I appreciate that he's sticking to his guns on this.
Absolutely.
Like Vinnie Brar a little bit too.
Oh my God. We've done so much Flappers content and never talked about Vinny. That's crazy. Vinny's one of the craziest open micers I've ever met in my life.
He was, dude. I remember when I first moved to Flappers, when I started working there and first moved to LA, I thought Vinny was like the guy. I was like, he's must be like the Flappers legend because he was there like holding court on the patio while waiting for the open mic signups to start. And I was like, this is the guy. I got to befriend this guy. He's like the person at Flappers. And then I see him go up and do like a new set every week. Yeah. It was never good. It was just him ranting. And occasionally he would he would get a nugget. He would do a set that would make people laugh. Then he would get booked and then he would never come do his spot.
Yeah, he was very strange. He was an incel before incel was a thing.
Yeah.
He lived at home. He was too old to do that. He walked everywhere. JT was fascinated by him and would take him to lunch. And Vinny's like very aggressive and mean. So there were times when they would almost fight, like he just, I've never met anybody like him. And he was always at the Flappers mic. I hope he's doing okay.
I hope he's doing okay.
Hope he moved out of the parents' house or, everything's going good.
I don't think I ever met Vinny.
You probably
would have
just
known,
weren't there at Flappers. He was always there. Very strange.
That's always
man.
a good thing.
Yeah. He was he was sort of you're not missing out on not remembering Flappers open micers. I promise you.
Well, I got to give it to Burbank cuz Claremont, they changed the fucking open mic day every fucking other month.
Oh yeah?
It went from Sundays to Fridays for a little bit and then Wednesdays and then finally Thursdays and I think it died on a Thursday.
Probably trying to stop the cocaine run there.
Yeah, they were probably trying to
the dealers.
Yeah. People are doing. If you're doing a lot of cocaine, you're not really keeping track of what day it is.
Well, keep in mind, dealers are not going to Flappers because they wouldn't have gone under. They'd be buying drinks and whatnot. It was users at Flappers.
Yeah.
A girl died. Right. A girl died after a night after the open mic on a Thursday. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Ashley. Yeah, but I think she died of a heroin overdose.
Yikes.
And she was the wild card of the group. She was always shooting up whatever she was doing in the parking lot or something. I never seen it, and at the time I was heavy into my own addiction.
Sure.
So I was spending a lot of time in the Valley because we all know that's where people do cocaine at.
Yeah,
right.
And I came through for a couple weeks, and then it was like everyone was on mourning one week, and I was like, "What the fuck? What are you guys all sad about, dude?" And Ashley had died. And then there was a whole controversy where her mom was blaming the open mic.
Damn.
Oh, I do remember hearing about that. I remember seeing people post about that on Facebook when that happened. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
And it turns out that she had gone to the open mic. They went to go party somewhere at somebody's house or somebody's mom's house, I'm assuming. And then she passed away.
I think I actually do remember talking to Johnny Stewart about this.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, they were, of the same kilt,
Yeah. Cut from the same cloth.
Yes, cut from the same cloth.
Definitely wish it was him,
Oh, wrong kid died.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Happy Hippo Cocaine. Don't do heroin.
Yeah. And then, I remember one of her bits where she would go on stage. This is the first time I had seen her do comedy. And she went, when I say silly string, you say bukkake. Silly string.
Bukkake.
Silly string.
Bukkake.
And then 5 dudes stood up with silly string and she got on her knees and she was like, and they all
That's
sprayed her.
funny.
That is a good
That's
bit.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have it on Snapchat somewhere because I was like, this is no way this is happening. And I recorded it.
Yeah.
You know what?
I actually think that's really good.
She could have gotten America's Got Talent.
Would they do a bit like that?
Dude, I was a fake bit on America's Got Talent. Did I ever tell you guys this?
No.
I was a deliberately bad act on America's Got Talent. I used to do this show with a buddy of mine at the clubhouse. and America's Got Talent producer hit us up and was like, "Hey, we're looking for alternative comedy acts,
Okay.
and we think maybe if you guys have something on your show that we could book, just let us know." And me and my buddy were like, "Okay, we don't want to do this, so let's send them a really deliberately bad tape."
Yeah.
So you sent him a tape with the Verzi triplets. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
We sent them a tape of us we took our shirts off and we just fingered each other's belly buttons and walked slowly closer and closer towards the camera. We did this for 5 minutes.
Wow.
We like walked the entire audience as we were doing this in our own show.
That's hilarious.
And we sent the tape to America's Got Talent. Right, we're never going to hear from them again. And then they're like, "We love this. Can we see it at a different show and I'll bring more producers?" And we were like, "All right."
Whoa.
So they came
Oh
and
my
saw it.
God.
We did a show at the Pack called Speed Face, where the premise was you could do 100 seconds to do whatever you want. So we staged a whole fake America's Got Talent thing where it was
Yeah.
us doing that. And they brought the producers out. They're like, "We love this. You're going to be on the show." And so we were on the show and we like lied. It was in the Pasadena auditorium at the fucking convention center.
Wow.
We like lied and told them we were like, our church really encouraged us to do this. We're
my
so
God.
excited. And people were cheering for that. And we were like, this is going to be a disaster. And we did the bit and we took our shirts off and people were starting to clap and like, "Yeah, this is great." And then we started fingering each other's belly buttons and the entire crowd turned on us and they started booing us. And we had to keep doing it for the full 3 minutes. And
Oh my
just,
God.
I remember staring down all of the judges.
Who
And
were they? Howie?
It was
Mandel?
Howie, Heidi, Gabrielle Union. Oh no, not Heidi Klum. She was gone that week. It was Julianne Hough, I think, was on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And Simon.
Hilarious.
And Julianne Hough was disgusted. She was the first person to buzz out. And Gabrielle Union was like intrigued, but she buzzed out. Simon buzzed out. And Howie didn't buzz us. He was like, "I love this. I want to see more," which is great. But Terry Crews refused to shake our hands afterwards.
Wow.
Because of,
Yeah, you just touched each other a bunch.
just touched each other a bunch. But yeah, so we did that. And we made the cut. We were
Can
one
you
of the
see that?
failure montages.
Can you see that now still on the YouTube or anything?
It's on, I don't remember what season we were on, but I know I posted it on my TikTok a long time ago. Big J Okerson, he posted a picture from that episode of us doing that on his Instagram when the episode aired. And his caption was just, "America's Got Talent." And someone tagged, I think like Latif Tayor tagged me in it. And he was like, "Hey, that's Dia J." And I was like, "Oh my God, hey, thank you. Look at that. We made the episode."
Nice.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Stay away from my belly button, dude.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Do you want to plug your Twitter and anything else?
Yeah, follow me at Diet J on all the social media platforms. If you want to see more about my game show, like I talked about at the top of the episode, at Wrong Game Show. You can see us in LA. We got some dates coming up in Austin and San Diego soon. So just follow both of those and you can get some info.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Are we doing a checking in with Scott? Is that what you're
Yes.
doing over
That's
there?
you checking in with Scott.
All right. Checking in with Scott.
Checking in with Scott. This one I saw earlier this week. I already liked it. Guilty.
What is it?
It says, "Flip my Crocs into sport mode. This is my last resort." Which
There
is
you
a
go.
Papa Roach shout
Yeah,
out.
Papa
I like
Roach. I
that.
like the
Yeah.
creativity.
Flip my Crocs into sport mode. This is my last resort.
I didn't know that's what, when you had the back of your Crocs on, I didn't know that's what it was called. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was
Oh,
sport
no, me
mode.
neither.
Everyone thinks they're original when they think of that because that's what everyone thinks. Especially, have you owned Crocs?
I almost wore Crocs today.
You
Are they comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what Matt said too.
They're super comfortable.
You've never flipped it from side.
I have. I just didn't know you could call it sport mode.
And you didn't think it was like more
That's
like activity based and then also like relaxing based, like different.
When I'm wearing them out in public, I do flip them.
Yes.
But when I'm not, if I'm wearing them, I usually wear them as house shoes. So if I'm
Okay.
wearing them around the house, then I keep them flipped in the front.
Yeah.
But sport mode, I'm gonna call it that from now
Keep
on.
them flipped in the front. Old Jay flipped in the front. Like, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
I have
Thanks,
a
Jay.
show
You're a good
August
pusher.
3rd.
August 3rd.
Ice House.
Ice House.
Come check it out. Jesus Sepulveda.
Bye.